Hello everyone. Early Shiites knew that the original Qiblah is at a different location than the current Qiblah in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. And they also knew that sometime in the future, the Qiblah will be restored to its original place, just like the Quran tells us. So this is the book, an overview of the Mahdi's government. So please, this is from Shia Islam. I put the link in the description so you can go and read it. You can look at the references to all the hadiths that they use in this book. You can read all the references just so you can be sure. But I just want you to know that early Islamic community, first few hundred years, they knew that the Qibla had been changed. It says, on his entrance into the Kufa mosque, which at the time was made up of sun-dried earth and baked clay, the commander of the faithful said, "Woe unto him who destroyed you! Woe unto him who facilitated the way to your destruction! Woe unto him who built you with mud and baked clay and changed the direction of Nuh's Qiblah or Noah's Qiblah." So change the direction of Noah's Qiblah. So basically, this hadith is telling us that the direction of Qiblah in the Kufa mosque is not correct, that it was rebuilt, it was destroyed at some point, and it was rebuilt with the new direction of Qiblah towards the current day Mecca, Saudi Arabia. That was not its original Qiblah. And it's actually cursing. In this hadith, it's like, woe unto him who built you and changed the direction of Noah's Qiblah. So then he continued, blessed is he who will be the witness of your destruction during Al-Qa'im al-Ahl al-Bayt. This refers to, just if you're not familiar, this refers to the rightly guided one. This refers to Al-Mahdi, or the rightly guided one. Quran tells us who this person is. The same Imam also said, undoubtedly, when our Qa'im rises up. Qa'im again refers to the same person, Al-Mahdi, the rightly guided one. When our Qa'im rises up, he will destroy the Kufa mosque and fix its Qiblah. So people who wrote this hadith, at the time that this hadith was written, people knew that the Qiblah in the Kufa mosque has been changed to the fake Qiblah in current day Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Early Shia community who had gone underground after the defeat of Karbala and after the defeat of Abdullah ibn Zubayr. They had gone underground because the Umayyads became victorious in the civil war, in the fitna. They destroyed the true Kaba in Petra, Jordan, and they changed the Kaba. Abdul Malik ibn Marwan is the Khalif that changed the Kaba from Petra, Jordan to its current location in Saudi Arabia. And anyone who claimed that they didn't believe in it, he was a murtad. It means that person had to be killed, cut into pieces. That's how they tortured their enemies. That's how they eliminated their enemies. So no one would dare to raise their head and say anything. There was no human rights. Imagine the oppression and the persecution and the executions that existed back then. This hadith, this part, exactly refers to Kaaba. Okay, so and this is the link that I told you. I'm gonna put this link in the description if you want to go read this part. Imam as-Sadiq is the sixth Imam of the Shia, said, Hadrat al-Qa'im, it means al-Mahdi, will destroy the structure of Masjid al-Haram, restore its original structure and size. So why? Because the current one that we have in Mecca, Saudi Arabia is not the original structure and size, right? Otherwise, why would you restore it to its original size and structure? So you read these carefully. It's telling you a lot, giving you a lot of information from early Muslims on what they believed amongst the early Shia. I'm not talking about the current Shia. I'm talking about the early Shia during the Abbasid. This is what they believed. People knew these things back then. Let's read the rest of it together. So after being destroyed, Masjid al-Nabi in Medina will also be restored to its original size. I add to this, the Masjid al-Nabi in Medina, that Prophet Muhammad was not buried there. I just want you to know, I want you to be 100% sure, that's not where Prophet Muhammad is. Prophet Muhammad was born in Mecca. His father was born in Mecca. And his grandparents, grandfather, Ishmael and Hagar are in Petra, Jordan in Mecca. And he was buried over there as well. But that's a different story. That he will also erect the Kaaba in its original location. So what is this saying? What is this telling us? It is telling us that the current Kaaba in Saudi Arabia is not the original site of Mecca, of Kaaba. But the point I want to make to all of you, when you have any doubts that, oh, nobody talked about this amongst the early Muslims, don't doubt yourself. People talked about it. People knew about it. It was very well known back then. But they couldn't say it publicly. And nobody could write about it publicly. So it went underground. And that's the origin of Shia Muslims versus Syrian Umayyad Muslims. So there was Shia Muslims, and then there was Syrian Umayyad Muslims. Original Shia Muslims were 100% different than what we have today. But back then it was different. These people knew. They just couldn't say it publicly. They used code words like Al-Mahdi, the rightly guided one. But the hadith is telling you that the current Kaaba in Saudi Arabia, the size is not correct, and also the location is not correct. That Al-Masjid al-Nabi in Medina is not correct, and the Qiblah in Kufa Mosque is not correct, and all of these people at that time, at the time of the Abbasids, they were awaiting the arrival, they were hoping for the arrival of Allah's messenger of the covenant, who will come and will restore the Kaaba to its original place in Petra, Jordan, and to its original size and to its original structure. Let's look at another piece of evidence. So I have discussed Qarmatian in several videos. They're a little bit further after As-Sadiq or Al-Ja'far As-Sadiq, or this is a little bit further after. So it's 100 years later that this happens. But I want you to see that this, even that late, it was very well known amongst this. And they were not like, we are not talking about a couple of hundred people. We are talking about a major part of the Islam, because Qarmatians were controlling a considerable portion of land back then. But let's read together. But the leader of them, he decided to attack Mecca during the Hajj period as well. Something that was considered superstition by the sect. So they believed that the current location of Mecca in Saudi Arabia was not true. They didn't believe that that was a true location. These people were Muslims. They were utopian Muslims, actually. They were Ismaili, they call it Ismailiyun, Ismaili Shia group. But they believed that the current location of Mecca in Saudi Arabia was not the true location of it, just like I showed you. So because of that, they had no respect for Mecca, the current Mecca in Saudi Arabia. They had no respect for Kaaba, and they had absolutely no respect for the black stone, because they knew what it was. They knew it was an idol. So they regularly would attack Mecca. They would destroy it. One time they also decided that they stole the stone because it was an idol and the stone could not defend itself, because a piece of a stone, of course. So they knew that. They knew that it was the idol Allah. So they went and grabbed it and stole it for about 23 years. I'm not saying that this was right at all. I'm not trying to condone it, but I'm showing you evidence of the fact that early Muslim community a group, the major group of them, were aware that the current location of Kaaba is not correct. And I want to end this conversation with verses from the Quran, verse number 142 and 143 from chapter 2 in the Quran, that they prophesy about the change in Qiblah. Peace and blessings to all of you.